Hello, how are you? Today I'm going to talk to you about hibiscus tea, and I'll tell you what its main health benefits are, how to make hibiscus tea, what you can combine it with to enhance its effects, what precautions you need to take when drinking hibiscus tea, and some contraindications you should be aware of. You're going to love this video, so stay until the end. You won't want to miss it. If you love tips on nutrition, health, and fitness, you're going to love this channel. So go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to get updates. I have new videos every day. You're going to love them. Tell me down below in the comments if you have the habit of drinking hibiscus tea. Do you drink it because it tastes good? I think it's delicious. Or do you drink it for any of these medicinal reasons, for the health benefits it brings us? If you drink it for any of these benefits, tell me what you felt hibiscus tea did for you. How did it help you? Or did you not feel anything? Let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to see your comment. And if you enjoy these videos about medicinal teas, about how to prepare teas the right way, and the precautions you should take, go ahead and leave your like so I know you enjoyed it and can make more videos like this. Hibiscus tea is a tea that has traditionally been widely used in Asia, in the East, because of its beneficial properties. One of the great benefits it offers us is that it is an herbal tea. So it doesn't contain caffeine, which means it can be used by a wider range of people. In fact, you can drink it at different times of the day, so that's already a big plus. Let's start talking more specifically about the health benefits, and then I'll tell you about some combinations and a few precautions you should take. Many studies have been conducted for quite some time regarding the use of hibiscus tea for weight loss. It's one of the most well-known effects of drinking hibiscus tea. In fact, many celebrities and people who want to lose weight, who are in the media, say that they drink hibiscus tea every day to slim down, because truly, scientific studies confirm that it can help. It has several mechanisms that help you lose weight. The first is that hibiscus tea helps improve insulin sensitivity. When we improve insulin sensitivity, we reduce glucose fluctuations in your blood, and as a result, your body needs to secrete less insulin. Insulin is an anabolic hormone. When we secrete it in excess, it leads to greater accumulation of central, abdominal, and visceral fat, which is also a harmful type of fat due to metabolic issues, diabetes, and blood sugar control. So, improving insulin sensitivity is a positive factor for weight loss and also for blood sugar levels. This is already a very good benefit of hibiscus tea. Another very good point is that hibiscus tea helps reduce the amount of amylase that we secrete, mainly in the saliva, but also gastric amylase. Amylase is the enzyme that breaks down starch into smaller sugar molecules so they can be absorbed in the intestine. And when you produce less amylase, you end up utilizing less of that starch. It becomes a more resistant starch, so you use less of it and absorb less of it. So in an indirect way, it also helps balance blood sugar and aids in weight loss. Of course, that doesn't mean you're free to eat an entire chocolate cake or a whole package of cookies. It's not about overdoing it, but when combined with a balanced diet, it helps control weight and blood sugar. Another very important detail is that hibiscus tea is very rich in antioxidants, anthocyanins, and many anti-inflammatory agents, which help reduce low-grade chronic inflammation in our bodies. Many people who are obese or overweight have a more inflamed body, and because of that, they become more resistant to the weight loss process. We know that a more inflamed body has more difficulty oxidizing fat, in other words, burning fat. So, when you manage to reverse this inflammatory process a bit, it will definitely help with weight loss as well. And because it is very rich in antioxidants, hibiscus tea can help you in this way. Remember that I even have a playlist here on the channel talking about the anti-inflammatory diet, with other tips to reduce inflammation, and a really cool video discussing 5 signs your body gives that you are inflamed. It's worth watching. I'll leave it down below in the description for you. Hibiscus tea, as I mentioned, also helps to lower blood sugar in an indirect way by improving insulin sensitivity and by reducing the absorption of excess starch that you consumed in that meal. So it can help control blood sugar. We need to issue an important warning here, because since it can have this effect of lowering blood sugar, if you are someone living with diabetes and already take medication to lower your blood sugar, it's important for you to watch out for any issues related to drinking hibiscus tea. Because in your case, it might lower your blood sugar too much and you could experience hypoglycemia. So that's the first thing you need to pay attention to. If you have diabetes and already use medication to control it, don't drink any tea without first consulting your doctor or your nutritionist individually. And pay attention. If you drink a tea and start to feel a bit dizzy, lightheaded, like you might faint, or your heart is racing, it could be hypoglycemia. Remember, I have a video on the channel talking about the symptoms of hypoglycemia. I'll leave it down below in the description for you as well. It's worth emphasizing that these effects of lowering blood sugar too much are usually only associated with people who are already taking medication to lower blood sugar and also drink hibiscus tea. If you don't have diabetes, if you're not taking any medication to control your blood sugar, you usually won't have symptoms related to hypoglycemia unless you drink a very large amount of hibiscus tea, which also happens with some people. There are people who want to lose weight, think it will be very beneficial, and want to drink 4 or 5 cups a day, too much of hibiscus tea, replacing water with hibiscus tea. Don't do that. With these medicinal teas, you should have 1 cup, at most 2 per day, to get the beneficial effects. So that's another very important point for you to pay attention to. Another great benefit of hibiscus tea is that studies have shown it can be good for the heart, for cardiovascular health, and for circulation. That's because it can lower LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, increase HDL, which is the good cholesterol. And since it acts on the carbohydrate metabolism mechanism, it can even help reduce total triglycerides. We know that elevated LDL and triglycerides are risk factors for cardiovascular diseases. So, in addition to that, it has many antioxidants, as I mentioned to you, which protect the heart. So, if you like to take care of your heart, if that's something you care about, adding hibiscus tea could be a good option for you. Another beneficial effect it brings to the heart is due to its diuretic effect. Hibiscus tea will make you urinate more, eliminating more fluid through your urine, which helps to offset high blood pressure a bit. In addition, it doesn't contain caffeine, so if you suffer from hypertension, it can be a tea you can drink. I just want to leave one more warning here for those who take medication to lower blood pressure, for those who have diagnosed hypertension, because it can lower your blood pressure too much. In the same way that I gave the example about blood sugar, if you already have high blood pressure and take medication to compensate, and also drink hibiscus tea, it might lower your blood pressure too much. Remember that I also have a video here talking about the symptoms of low blood pressure. I'll leave it down below in the description for you so you can check it out and so this video doesn't get too long, but remember that this is a detail to be careful about. But if you don't have low blood pressure, if you don't have high blood pressure and aren't taking medication to lower it, if your blood pressure is normal, there won't be any problem for you. Remember that this video is purely informational, so if you already have a health condition or are already taking medication, it's always important, as I mentioned before, that you always talk to your doctor or your nutritionist in your city to help you individually. Because it has this diuretic effect, it is even an antagonist of aldosterone, and since it has a very pronounced diuretic effect, some people say that by drinking hibiscus tea, they avoid urinary tract infections. Because some people tend to have recurring urinary tract infections, since they drink little water, urinate infrequently, and their urine becomes very concentrated, which allows more bacteria to proliferate. So, some people report this. In fact, it is not recommended for treating any type of urinary tract infection. Remember, urinary tract infections can be dangerous. They can reach the kidneys, enter the bloodstream, and cause sepsis. So, if you think you have a urinary tract infection, I don't suggest treating it with teas. I recommend that you see a doctor, assess whether you need to take an antibiotic or not, and follow the prescribed medication. Perhaps as a complementary measure, you can drink hibiscus tea or use it to help prevent recurring problems in the future. In this case, it's also important to confirm this with your gynecologist or urologist. Another beneficial effect of hibiscus tea is that it has a mildly laxative effect. It's not like senna tea. It won't cause you to have diarrhea or abdominal cramps. It's not like that. In fact, that's why it's a good tea for your intestines. Remember that senna tea is very harsh, very astringent. It's bad for your intestines and for your gut flora. I have a video about why you shouldn't use senna tea. I'll leave it below in the description. On the other hand, hibiscus tea has a mildly laxative effect and can help you have a bowel movement, especially if you drink hibiscus tea cold and on an empty stomach. For example, in the morning or between meals, after 3 hours since your last meal and before your next one, you drink your tea nice and cold. That's because when we drink a cold beverage, we stimulate the pylorus, which is the valve between our stomach and intestine, and this triggers peristalsis and the expulsion of the fecal matter. So, if you suffer from constipation, that's another point in favor of hibiscus tea. Another very interesting detail is that, like other teas, hibiscus tea has no calories. So if you replace, for example, orange juice, soda, or any other high-calorie drink with hibiscus tea, you'll help improve your calorie deficit, which will also support your weight loss process. But in this case, as I mentioned before, like any other tea, for example, black tea or chamomile tea, none of them have a significant caloric value. Now, we need to make a note regarding how you drink hibiscus tea, because I think hibiscus tea has a wonderful flavor. It really reminds me of raspberry, since it's naturally sweeter, but also slightly tart, kind of like red berries. So there are people who don't like this tart flavor. Some people are really used to sweet flavors and want to sweeten hibiscus tea. I don't think that's necessary. If you have trouble drinking it hot when it's more tart, let it cool down or chill it and drink it all at once. It's a medicinal tea. You don't necessarily have to savor it, even though I think it's really tasty. But if you can avoid adding any sweetener, it will be better for you, because sugar, honey, brown sugar, all of these will cause an insulin spike and you'll lose some of those beneficial effects. These sugars are pro-inflammatory, so you'll end up neutralizing some of the positive effects of hibiscus tea. If it's absolutely necessary, maybe you could add a few drops of stevia, but I don't think it's needed. Drink it warm or cold and then let me know what you think. In fact, there are some combinations you can make with other ingredients that also have beneficial effects to enhance some of the positive effects of hibiscus tea. For example, if you make hibiscus tea with cinnamon, you know that cinnamon also helps with insulin sensitivity, so you'll see an improvement when it comes to carbohydrate metabolism. Another thing, if you want to reduce bloating even more, you can add a teaspoon of horsetail to the hibiscus tea to prepare and infuse them together. This will have a stronger diuretic effect, so if you already have low blood pressure, be careful as well. If you want a more thermogenic effect to lose weight, maybe you can combine hibiscus tea with ginger, because that will speed up your metabolism even more. So, always remember that you can mask its flavor if you don't like the taste, and you can combine it with other ingredients to enhance the flavor. Also remember that a good option can be to add an apple peel, orange peel, or lemon peel to infuse, which also makes it super tasty and aromatic. I even have a video here on the channel talking about the benefits of lemon peel and orange peel, and I'll leave it down below for you as well. Like any other medicinal tea, there are some people who shouldn't drink it. So, as I already mentioned, people who have low blood pressure or are undergoing treatment for blood pressure may already have lower blood pressure because of their medication. People who have high blood sugar and are taking medication to lower their blood sugar may experience hypoglycemia. For pregnant and breastfeeding women, we do not recommend it because it can lower blood pressure too much, which is not ideal, and in the case of women who are breastfeeding, it can pass through breast milk, and there aren't many studies on this yet. So, during these special times in life, we always recommend that you don't take anything without your obstetrician's or your baby's pediatrician's knowledge. And also, be careful if you are going to have surgery or if you have a delicate moment in your life coming up, always talk to your doctor so they can guide you better. Regarding the issue of consuming hibiscus tea and female fertility, there are some studies that say if you drink hibiscus tea at the same time as you take birth control pills, for some pills, it might possibly inactivate their effect. So some researchers suggest that you take them at different times. For example, if you take the pill at night, have hibiscus tea in the morning because it shouldn't interfere. Actually, it will always depend on how much tea you drink, which pill you use, and how your body is. So once again, if you have any doubts about this, talk to your gynecologist and ask them specifically regarding you and your pill what they suggest is the best way for you to proceed. There is still another somewhat delicate issue for us to talk about because I think it's important. For some women, high doses of hibiscus tea, not just 1 cup a day, but high doses of hibiscus tea over a long period can increase the amount of estrogen in the body and hinder the implantation of the egg. That is, the embryo, the fertilized egg, in the uterine wall, which can make it more difficult for a woman to get pregnant. So, if you are trying to conceive right now, maybe this is not the best time for you to drink hibiscus tea. It's also important that you talk to your doctor about this. In another video I have about hibiscus tea, there are people who said they drank hibiscus tea for a long time, and then when they wanted to get pregnant, they stopped drinking it and got pregnant within a month without any problems. Some people have more difficulty, some have less, and that's often due to each person's individual hormonal situation. So it's important that if you're trying to get pregnant and think this might harm you, when in doubt, don't drink it. And as I said, always talk to your doctor if you're unsure. I have a playlist here on the channel about various teas. I'll leave it down below in the description for you to inspire you to drink more teas in your daily life. Tell me if you're going to use hibiscus tea. Which tea do you drink the most? Besides that, I have another interesting playlist of juices, smoothies, and other drinks, and I'll leave it down below in the description for you as well. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like it because that helps me a lot, and share it with anyone who would like it, with anyone who needs it. Let's work together to expand this chain of good because that's what I want here with the channel. See you next time. Bye.